Welcome back to Mock where we take a look at someone else's mock draft, and I'm mocking, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions, and we're looking festive here, right? You know, got the Grinch green, looking like Christmas time, but today we're looking at the Goat House's new 2022 NFL mock draft. I'm doing my final set of recordings before Christmas, so tomorrow you will get a Christmas Day mock, as well as Sunday. We're going to react to my old mock drafts from, well, after the season, or after the 2021 draft. So that ought to be fun. But go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So I did that all out of order. By the way, holiday sales, everything's 25% off. Couldn't find a Christmas hat, so this is the best I got. These little freaking suckers. But yeah, use this promo code ALLBRO25 gets 25% off. Let's go ahead. Take a look at Goat House's mock. He does this in increments of 8, so we should be able to speed through this sucker. All right, so Aidan Hutchinson going to the Jags. Again, we got Hutch, KT. They're kind of the unanimous number ones. I think Evan Neal is creeping in that territory. Depending on how he looks throughout through the playoffs, man, because he's got some spicy matchups. Got Myjah Sanders and those pass rush and linebackers there in the Cincinnati matchup that he has a possibility to face off with Hutch and Ojabo, or a rematch with Georgia. So Evan Neal, man, I think he could creep into that one status. So watch out for him. But as of now, for a lot of people, Hutch is number one. KT, it's kind of a coin toss, you know, whatever fits your flavor. But the Jags, they go with Hutch. Kayvon Thibodeaux, KT, being the next player off the board here. Going to the Detroit Lions. Miss out on Hutch. Couldn't get the hometown boy. So they're going to get the import from Oregon. And then things get spicy. Because I've been saying this quarterback class looks sus. And it's hard to think these guys will go early, but man, he's got some spicy takes here. We'll get to the quarterbacks when we get to them, but Kyle Hamilton here at 3. This isn't the big splash pick I think the Texans will make. And by big splash, I'm saying take best player off the board. While Kyle Hamilton is, yes, he is I would say a top 5 prospect. Safety position is a bit of a devalued position. I think it's pretty important. I would say edge rush, pass rush are kind of the same tier. And then next I'd be looking at safety, and then interior pass rush. And then of course linebackers just kind of in this nice little area by itself. That's right. I just said linebacker is less valuable than interior pass rush. Dude, linebacker is so hard to, I think, scout at this point. You want to take these guys that have like crazy athletic tools, but a lot of times, man, it's these guys that are just they're solid at stopping. They're solid at neutralizing gains after the catch. Like you see this with Bobby Wagner, and even Eric Hendricks, where like they might not always pop off in coverage, though Hendricks a couple of years ago did. They're good they'll let things go underneath, but they limit the aftermath. They limit what happens after the catch. So like those guys, and I mean, just looking at those guys, they went in the second, third round respectively. I think Bobby Wagner was a second rounder. I'm not positive off the top of my head. It feels like it's been so long now. But yeah, enough about that. I would go. You want to go with the high value position, be it edge, tackle, quarterback. Obviously, kind of don't want to go there. Corner, wide receiver. Those would be the 4 positions. And I think they have a solid safety group there with Reed. They have who'd they move to safety that's been doing well? Not David Long. Who's the other cat? Oh man, they got Justin Reed. Our lads, Houston. Can I get Houston Texans? You can't do that for me. I know they got Eric Murray, but he's more like kind of this guy you could dump in the slot and whatnot. Lonnie Johnson, thank you. The former corner, now safety. But yeah, I just don't think safety would be it. Evan Neal probably be the pick because again, like I said, he's kind of creeping into that that one territory. But Evan Neal slip into the Jets. Joe Douglas loves his tackles. It's hard not to see him not go in the trenches with one of these first two picks. And I know a lot of people don't like the Hamilton and Derek Stingley picks. Like if they do that, they address the secondary, which doesn't make sense to me. Those are two top 5 prospects they get in their first 8 picks. And it basically cements your secondary. While you got guys like Guidry and Equals, who I think are fine depth pieces. I think they're fine sub-package guys because both are actually pretty undersized. I think you still need an actual legitimate number 1 corner out there, or at least someone next to Bryce Hall. So yeah, that's my take on it. Kenny Pickett, Charles Cross going to the Giants with back-to-back picks. The Giants, okay, this makes sense going Cross. Pickett, I get it. You hate the quarterback position, but and he didn't do trade downs. He was like, I don't want to get that wild, which I get it. But going for the quarterback, which I think might have the least upside, maybe compared to guys like Howell, Willis, Corral, but probably the safest option. Like he has I think the easiest projection to the pros than the rest of those guys. But like, not saying Kenny Pickett can't be special. It's just I think he has his Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins ceiling, where he might be a quintessential top 10 to 12 quarterback in the league. But you really got to make sure the pieces around him are right, or else you just got you got what you have in Las Vegas. This just mediocre team, Even with the Minnesota, this mediocre team, or how I like to call the Minnesota Vikings, the Raiders of the NFC. But again, I could be for all intents and purposes capping what Pickett's actually capable of. It's just watching him from the 3 prior seasons and just kind of seeing this average play from him, and for it to just be so radically different this year with Pittsburgh, it makes, for me, it's a little harder to sell. But yeah, and I mean, to be honest, I think I just moved Malik Willis back to my quarterback 1 just because the upside's just so scary. It's so frightening. This quarterback class is all over the place for me, I'm not gonna lie. Let's go to the Carson Strong pick. I don't know if Goat House, by the way, that's a good looking man there, knows about the knee issues or knee concerns. 3 knee surgeries. To be fair, 1 was just cleaning out cartilage, so pretty minor procedure. But the others might have some long to maybe short-term ramifications and impacts. We won't know more till probably the combine. So maybe some concerns there. I know a lot of people are like, Strong, QB1, and it's like he's kind of a statue in the pocket. His pressure present, like his pocket poise, I would say, I don't think it's on par with even like a Desmond Ridder. I think has better pocket poise than Strong, and just he can't maneuver the pocket too well if pressure does come. But what he has in terms of he's got a cannon for an arm. He can put it on the money. The balls don't hang in the air for too long. He doesn't let them sail. So, like, at 7, too spicy. If this is like, I can't even say if this is the Panthers in the second round because y'all used it on Sam Darnold. Which, by the way, it felt like overpaid a little bit, yes, but I thought it was a risk worth taking. Unfortunately, it cost a few guys their jobs. Maybe even Matt Rule. We'll see by the end of this. But yeah, if I'm going quarterback, this isn't the quarterback I'm going here. I'm not going to lie, I'd probably go with Sam Howell, man. I think he would actually be a really good fit. I don't know. It's a bit interesting. Icky, though. Icky is a consideration. Derek Stingley going here to the Jets. There's a lot of Stingley hate out there, man. Not to say it's not warranted or justified. I get it. He's had some, like, you go to his freshman season, and you kind of criticize his performance against a big-bodied tight end. who's basically a receiver at the tight end position, and Kyle Pitts, and you're like, oh, he didn't do well against him. Of course not. Of course not. The man out, like, look at the body size. That's a mismatch. You look at the Devontae Smith matchups where I think he played a much better in year 2. And then, of course, the Kyle Phillips matchup where it was just one pass where he was playing in the slot off coverage. Totally just not how you should utilize him. And they like to point to those and be like, hey, he's not that good. He's bad. And it's like, he actually is pretty darn good. Like, the dude shut down the SEC outside of, like, those matchups. But, again, you do have to nitpick. But I think just from an athletic perspective, from a length, size, quicks, just all that, it's like it's hard to say he's not the top corner of this class. I think the real kind of like, okay, is he the top corner is what's the severity with the ankle issues? He had him in 2020. And then this year, the broken ankle. So we do need to know a bit more about that. So, but yeah, I like the Jets going corner. I really like that. I think you can basically write that one in. So let's continue. Let's take a look at what he does for the next 8 picks. Ken McWanu going to the Falcons. I get it. Caleb McCreery is just bad. He's not like he's a bad man. I mean, he's not good. You typically year 3, you want at least to see a little something from your tackle you drafted in the first round, and we have seen nada, nothing. So grabbing him, and he lists him as a offensive lineman. I guess, yeah, you can put him at left guard because it's not like Mayfield's been that good, and I don't think, like, and you don't want to just give up on Mayfield, but I don't think anything he's done this year has warranted to be like, I'm willing to let this guy develop and pass on potential upgrades. So I don't think anything he's done has warranted that. So, I mean, best case scenario, I guess he's your right tackle, maybe left. I mean, Matthews, he could play both sides. Worst case scenario, he's your left guard. I don't know. Devin Lloyd going to the Eagles with their first pick. I like the fit, but man, we know they haven't drafted a linebacker in like 40 years in the first round. And to be honest, like, there's always a precedent for this. There's always like this could be the year that streak comes to an end. I mean, I totally, with 3 first round picks currently, I'm not going to say this pick's out of the question, but again, if you're going to go with their draft history, could be. Kenyon Green, Washington football team, or whatever the hell y'all going to be called, always give me crap about, like, if I don't like a quarterback at their pick, I like going Kenyon Green because you got 2 left tackles that are free agents. You got Sheriff, who's going to be a free agent after being on the franchise tag. A lot of them believe in their depth, but I don't think they get how good Kenyon Green is. So, like, and just his versatility to be able to play anywhere on the offensive line is just so valuable. Like, I honestly think this guy's a tackle in the NFL, but if you need him, you can have him play a guard. Like, is Eric Flowers a free agent as well? I'm not positive, but yeah, I don't get the hate, but I think this is still early enough to take your shot at one of the quarterbacks on the board, like Sam Howell and Malik Willis are interesting options. Obviously, you got the huge upside with Willis, but Sam Howell is a bit more ready to start now. And while he isn't like I think has the ridiculous upside of Willis, I think he has elite upside in general. Roger McCreery going to the Eagles. I don't think it's a great fit. A lot of people like this guy in zone, like off zone coverage. I think he can press. I mean, I think there's a little worry with his hips, not necessarily how greasy or how loose or how not loose they are, but like he is a bit clunky coming out of his what would you call it? Coming out of his break, coming out of his turn. When he goes to turn and play the receiver, there is that, but I think it was less apparent. To be fair, they played him a lot in off when he had to face speedier wide receivers, but I still like this guy in a press heavy offense. I don't know, man. I mean, it's not like the Eagles don't play a lot of press, but I don't mind it. I'll say that. I don't mind it. Matt Corral going to the Broncos. They get their quarterback of the future. Is he ready to play yet? Nah, not yet. I don't think so. I don't want to start this guy off the bat. I wouldn't mind easing him into the role during the season if, things don't look good from your current starters, but I don't know. We'll see. Malik Willis, man. So I guess in this scenario, maybe you bring back Jameis, and then you just kind of nurture Malik Willis. I don't mind that. I mean, yeah, I kind of love the idea of Jameson Williams, but I mean, think about this, dude. Sean Payton this is the weapon he wish Taysom Hill would be. Like, I'm not against it. I kind of like it. Garrett Wilson, this is kind of like a lot of people are chalking this pick in for the Browns. I'm going receiver since Baker does have that fifth-year option, kind of like, hey, prove you're our franchise quarterback. I like the idea of the Raiders replacing Henry Ruggs with another speedster in his own right from Alabama. So, yeah, that's pretty dope. Let's keep the train rolling. We got Nakobi Dean going to the Steelers. Some people might not like this. I mean, all the quarterbacks are off the board because I'm assuming maybe at this point Sam Howell is probably not on Goathouse's radar. Not even on his radar. Maybe he just doesn't like him as a first rounder. There's a lot of guys like that, so it is what it is. I get it, everyone. To each their own. Everyone has their own takes. But you would think offensive line because Tyler Linderbaum's on the board. You could kick Kendrick Green to his more natural position guard. Keep in mind, he was only playing center at Illinois because Doug Kramer went down. But they did not take the fifth-year option on Devin Bush, a guy that his play's kind of been sporadic. And he's also been hurt. But honestly, I think he's at his best when they use him as a blitzer. And I just wish they would do that more. So maybe they could go in this direction. I'm not going to discount it because, like, maybe they get Nakobe Dean thinking he could be what they wanted Bush to be. So I wouldn't discount this. The Ravens going Andrew Booth. A lot of people were like, oh, their corners are coming back healthy next year. Listen, you can never have enough cornerback depth. I know you probably want to address the offensive line because they've been beat up this year too. And obviously the right tackle position. You got Jawan Moore? Oh my gosh, he used to be the Dolphin. Maybe that's why I tried to forget him, I think it's Jawan. Is it Jawan? Jawan Jones just doesn't sound. Oh my gosh. Jawan Jones? That just doesn't sound right. All right, let's take a look at this. Sorry, man. There's a lot of names. Sometimes you just forget. Like the minute I see it, I'm just gonna like head slap. Let's see, reserve. Oh my gosh. Oh, I guess technically he wouldn't be on this year's roster. Son of a gun, dude. This is why videos end up being so long, dude. My mind stops for a second. I go to look to do some research. Ravens depth chart. Excuse me. Take me to the site. All right, this is their actual. Can you? Oh my gosh. All right, how about this? Dolphins draft. Juwan Johnson? Maybe that sounds a little bit right. Oh, hell no, that ain't it. Juwan Johnson was the Oregon tight end. Mother trucker. I think it's more, right? You know what? It's irrelevant. Let me know in the comment section below. That's what I have y'all here for. When my mind does not work, does not function, because keep in mind, I'm remembering a lot of names here. Maybe it's the freaking snowman ears I got going on right now, but I don't know, man. Help me out. I appreciate it. I get like you got a guy there maybe coming in and play right tackle to the future. Like I don't know, if I'm the Ravens, I'm just improving depth. They already got a lot of skilled players, so I'm not too worried about it. Dogs are out there playing. Gojo's not busting it on my video. George Karlaftis, really good value at this point for the Minnesota Vikings. Getting an Everson Griffin, I guess, in this aspect, like pass rusher next to Hunter, if hopefully he is back and everything's resolved there. Ahmad Gardner is great for the Bills, man, dude. Having him across from Tre'Davious White, dude, that's just big improvement over Levi Wallace. Tyler Linderbaum, like I said, Dolphins, I don't want to get younger on the offensive line. I don't want to get more inexperienced. I don't want to get younger. I want to get good, which means probably bringing in maybe some reliable veteran players just to kind of creep towards average and hope the other guys kind of develop. However, if it's a blue chip prospect on the offensive line, I'm willing to take it with our first pick. And for me, that's only Evan Neal, Ike Ekemegwanu, Charles Cross, Tyler Linderbaum, and dude, Kenyon Green's like sniffing that territory. Like I would think hard if he's available, you know. But they get Linderbaum here. I have no complaints. David Ajabo, that's great. I wouldn't mind dipping into the corner class, but you could do that in a second, third round, somewhere on day 2. But yeah, Ajabo here, he's an athlete. He's gonna be an athletic freak. Not a lot of significant snaps to his name until this year, and keep in mind this, he became a starter in like that Wisconsin game, right? It was like week 5, week 6, something like that. But a guy you're gonna have to groom, but hey, that's perfect. You could groom him right next to Joey Bosa, so I don't mind this because this is good value. Treylon Burks, so they went Roger McCreery, Devin Lloyd, Treylon Burks. I like that. Treylon Burks is a little bit different than what they have currently at receiver in terms of size. I mean, this is honestly like, this is probably what they wanted from J.J. Arthur-Whiteside, but Burks actually gets legit separation. He's a big, fast boy. Could end up being DK depending on how he tests out. Drake London, so Lions, they're still going with the wide receiver position with this pick. And they get it, actually, Amon-Ra St. Brown's former teammate, in Drake London, actually went Amon-Ra St. Brown, because he was primarily used in the slot at USC and then moved to the outside, where Drake London then ended up being used a lot in the slot during that 2020 season, and then Drake London moves to the outside. This is a great contested catch target, 19 and 28 on contested catches this year, by the way. He was leading in all of college football in forced missed tackles before he ended up going down with the injury. So, and this is a guy that has one vertically. He is a jump ball. For all intents and purposes, not a guy that separates great, but he is a jump ball guy. He's a guy that you can use on the short to intermediate. He's actually a pretty smooth route runner, and he creates good windows for the quarterback. That'll help since his quarterback is Goff, who is wildly inaccurate. So let's look at this last stretch. So far, nothing too offensive. Like the quarterback, like again, I feel like a lot of people are going to feel a lot of different ways about the quarterback class, so I'm not even going to be mad about that. I feel like Washington, I would probably take one of these guys, but it is what it is. The Akem pick, I love Akem, but I feel like pass rush is still it, man. Oh yeah, the Kyle Hamilton pick, I'm not in love with. Neither Carson Strong, but that's just me not being high on Carson Strong. Also with the injuries. Jackson Kirkland going to the Bengals. Jackson Kirkland ain't a first rounder. I hate to break it to you. A lot of guys had their way with poor Jackson Kirkland this year. I imagine that's why he's listed him as offensive lineman rather than offensive tackle. Keep in mind, this is a guy that played right guard. So you could come in and I guess you play him at guard. I think the guard play's been fairly all right this year. It's really, well, not all right, but you got promising youth there. But again, if you can upgrade the position, then go ahead and do it. But are you doing that with Kirkland, who Hutch and Ojabo just kind of like railed on? I don't know. But I think it's interesting. Like, to be fair, I was like one of the highest guys on Kirkland going into the season, and then like a couple, like what, probably week 1, week 2, that Michigan game happened. It was right after the Montana game too. Tough stretch for Washington there. Zion Johnson getting some first round love. I love Zion Johnson. I think this guy that could end up playing left tackle. Dogs are just a fighting, man. Come on, make love, not war. But Zion Johnson, one of the, like, a guy that played very well for Boston College at left tackle, moved back into left guard and looked great this year. Very athletic, good on the move. Be good for this offensive scheme. I mean, they got Safford and Nate Davis. Some people have been like, Nate Davis is on the hot seat. Like, he's been so good as a run defender this year. It's really his pass pro that probably needs a lot of work, but he was a developmental prospect coming in, and y'all threw him into the fire. And I thought he fared very well during the playoffs during his rookie year. Last year, I thought he was particularly solid. I wouldn't be giving up on him. But Zion Johnson's an all right pick. Jordan Davis going to the Cardinals. I'm not in love with Jordan Davis. Honestly, this is probably about the area, though, he comes off the board for me. I've kind of fallen more and more out of love. We've just grown apart, me and Jordan Davis. I think he's a 2-down player. I get it. People like the opposing size. Great athlete for his size, but he doesn't necessarily have that pass rushing upside. The tools are still raw. He just wins with, hey, I'm big and quick. And they're like, oh, gosh, no. Like, he has no real moves. But him going here, I'm not in love with, especially with what Kyer Elam's on the board, Trent McDuffie's on the board. Probably Kyer Elam's the much better fit, but we know Arizona, they don't mind taking a Washington corner and just acclimating them to their system there. So Bucks going corners, no surprise. Carlton Davis, he's a free agent after this year, I think, and just cornerback depth's kind of important. Jahan Dotson to the Patriots. I don't know. I like what he can do. I think there's a lot of fun ways you can use him in that offense. I'm not opposed to this. I'm not opposed to that. What am I saying? Daxton Hill, it's not a bad pick. A guy that can play the slot, can play deep. So for those safety fans that are like, or those Dallas fans that are like, they don't value the safety position. Well, just think you're getting. How about this? He's a slot corner. You're getting a slot corner. But Daxton Hill's great range. DeMarvin Leal is just a Spagnola's wet dream, dude. He's big and athletic. And then no Kingsley Nagbari, dude. Go house. Show my boy some love. The Packers go Bernard Raymond. I like that. Getting a guy you can develop. And I say develop because he's only been playing tackle for 2 years, and he's played beautifully. But yeah, a guy you'll probably end up developing. A guy that could really elevate his stock depending on the Senior Bowl. I think he's going to test out great because he's pretty athletic too. For 6'7", I think, and he's like 307. But yeah, no, I don't mind it. Overall, this mock's interesting. Kirkland, I found it pretty funny still being in the first round. But hey, dude, to each their own, dude. It's the draft. Anything can happen. I'm not gonna discount. I'm not gonna degrade him for, hey, what the hell is this? Because like that, it could happen. It's the draft. Teams are gonna see these players in different lights. So yeah, that's it for the video. Go ahead, tune in tomorrow for the Christmas special. I'm gonna have a very special fan requested mock the mock, and then of course Sunday we got the reaction to my way too early 2022 mocks. I can't wait to go back and look at those and see how wrong I was. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.